Good morning, all. We are going to start the session in another 5 minutes. Today evening, after afternoon session, so we will be sharing a feedback form. All participants can fill the feedback form and submit by tomorrow evening. For certificate, it takes 4 to 5 days. Due to huge number of participants, it takes some time for us to verify and generate the certificate. In 4 to 5 days, you will be receiving your certificate. Thank you all.
A very good morning to all for this fifth day webinar, the last day webinar on the NBA and NAC accreditation process. So today we have an eminent speaker, Dr. K.R. Vishnu Mahesh from NAC, and I have the privilege to read out his profile. Okay, so here Dr. K.R. Vishnu Mahesh has completed his post-graduation and doctoral degree in industrial chemistry from Coimbatore University, Shivamogga. So he has paired his services as assistant professor for around 8 years to various engineering institutions like RV College of Engineering, Rajarajeshwari College of Engineering, and Dayanand Sagar College of Engineering, Bengaluru. So he has joined as assistant advisor in NAC, Bengaluru. So he has published more than 70 research articles in reputed international journals. So he has presented his research papers on polymer nanocomposites and electrochemistry in various national and international conferences, where some of his work has been rewarded with best paper awards in Thailand, Malaysia, etc. He has also authored several books and book chapters on Winchester-based polymer nanocomposites. He has received many awards like Aniketana Gold Medal, University Level Best NSS Volunteer for Social Services in his college days. He is the editorial member of many scientific journals, including the prestigious journals like Elsevier and so on. He is a life member of many professional bodies in India and abroad, and also he was organizing members of many national and international conferences. After joining NAC, he has guided and coordinated more than 200 institutions in assessment and accreditation process. He was conducted many assessor training programs to train the eminent professors for assessment and accreditation process. So he has organized and presented in many seminars and NAC awareness programs. He is the part of the team involved in developing new NAC website, digitizing and fine-tuning and ICT-enabled assessment and accreditation process. So welcome to you, sir. And I request you can take over the session. Sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Today, I'm going to handle the second session of the Dr. Ganesh Hegde, sir. Yesterday, from 2 to 3:30 p.m., already the advisor, senior advisor in our NAC, Dr. Ganesh Hegde, completed the first session on the assessment and accreditation process for affiliated and constituent colleges, an overview. So this was already completed. Sir explained up to the SSR submission. Today, I will take over you to the next step of the assessment accreditation process. So coming to the next slide. So today, the best wishes from our Honorable Director, sir, Professor Yashi Sarma, sir. He conveyed his best wishes to organizers and also all the participants. So today, just I will brief you the concept of the assessment accreditation process. So first I will start with my quote: changing the face can change nothing, but facing the change can change everything. So using this quote, I will start my presentation. We should face the change. Then only some changes may occur in the future and in the society. So coming to the first slide. So this is the NAC A&A process flowchart. Already in the overall process, yesterday our Ganesh Hegde sir explained. In the first step, you have to register in the portal, and then you have to fill the first application process, that is IIQA. So Institution Information Quality Assessment. So then within 45 days, you have to submit the SSR. So after that submission of SSR, so your student satisfaction survey will start. Automatically, your another process called as data validation process will start. Today, I am going to explain you the student satisfaction survey as well as data validation verification part, and also how to the peer team visit go on in the 2 days, and also what are all the logistic arrangement we have to do, and also calculation of CGPA. So total accreditation process, I will explain you in the today's presentation. So coming to the next slide, this is the first slide. So just I am going to give you the timeline recap. Already yesterday explained. So IAQA 15 days, SSR is only 45 days. In extreme situations like natural calamities, strike, burn, or any pandemic situation like COVID-19, so with the proper approval, we will give further extension. So DVV and SSS, this is simultaneous process. Today I am going to explain, that is 30 days. So then automatically after the pre-qualification process, this is a very important step. After that, within 30 to 60 days, you should complete your peer team visit. So then after the completion of peer team visit, within 1 month, you will get the results. That is accreditation outcome. So coming to the first part, already yesterday up to SSR submission, our Dr. Devin, Dr. Ganesh Hegde sir explained the process. In the first slide, so student satisfaction survey. So in this student satisfaction survey, I'm going to explain you how to fill the data of the students. So then how the survey will be begin. So student satisfaction survey. The student satisfaction survey with regard to teaching learning process under the second criteria, it is 2.7 key indicator and the metric is 2.71. This is a quantitative metric. So this is a predetermined weightage of 60 for all affiliated UG and PG colleges. For university, it is 30 weightage. So, for colleges, it is 60. So throughout the process, student participating in this survey will remain anonymous throughout the process. The institution, if supposed to submit the student list with all the necessary details, only using our Excel template. So while during the submission of SSR only, you have to fill the student satisfaction survey details, means the student details. In the next slide, so while you are filling, so it is a screenshot of the portal. You can observe here in the left side, in the manage SSR, after filling of all the details, profile of the SSR, extended profile, executive summary, and select optional metrics, then payment. After that, you have to fill the student satisfaction survey detail. That is, your students enrolled in the institution. So for example, in your college, 1,000 is enrolled. Minimum 50% is compulsory. So that student detail you have to give. So coming to this guidelines, you can observe here 50% of the currently enrolled students. Means, for example, in your college, currently how many students are there? So that student detail we need for the student satisfaction survey. Only 50% is mandatory. So above that, you can give 100% detail of the student also. So coming to this 2.7 student satisfaction survey, so you can observe the data template, means name of the student, gender, category, domicile, and nationality, then email ID, program name, unique enrollment ID, mobile number, and year of joining. So these columns don't change from the template. So Excel sheet, it is available in the portal itself. While filling the SSR, kindly download the template in the same place. Don't change the horizontal and vertical column. So immediately you fill the details. One time at a shot, you can fill 500 details of the students. Then you can use the same Excel sheet for fill the other students' details. So while filling, the mobile number and email ID should be correct. So don't repeat the email IDs. Don't repeat the names. So and also avoid comma, full stop, or any uppercase or lowercase. So exact email ID you have to fill. Because the first time in the world, the student satisfaction survey, we are capturing directly from the students. Previously, we are capturing the student satisfaction survey in the on-site visit. Because of the influence of the teachers or the management, the students are not able to give the transparent feedback on the college and the faculty. Now, it is very convenient to students to give directly feedback in the process. So the link will get the students. So student only give the student satisfaction survey from their mobile or from their email ID. So this is called as student survey satisfaction details. So within 1 month, this student satisfaction survey details, the student should give. So coming to the next slide, especially while giving the student satisfaction survey details, one thing you should note down means institutions, on-campus students details only you have to give, fair and uninfluenced data we need, and also valid email address you have to give. So maximum 2 surveys may be initiated. In the first time, we will send the 30% of the students. So then if the 30% of the students are unable to fill the student satisfaction survey details, so then we will send you the second attempt, that is 70%. For all affiliated UG/PG college, the 10% of the student population or 100 is whichever is lesser. So that overall percentage we are taking for the calculation of the CGPA, means that particular metric score we will calculate average. So coming to the next slide, I will explain you here what all the questionnaires will be there. Especially you can go to our NAAC website, especially under the student satisfaction survey tab. So what all the questions are there? Around 20 questions, that is Q&M type, means objective type questions are there. And one question is descriptive type of question, that is open-ended. The students may give their feedback in writing. So first step means first major component is specific to teaching skills, and teachers specific teaching skills will be asked. For example, subject knowledge, communication skills, classroom preparation, and ICT tools for teaching. In another major component is overall approach of the teachers and institution, which with respect to providing the overall environment, like right environment, motivation, and interpersonal relationship and feedback. So these are the important questions we are asking in the major component, in the second component. So coming to the next slide, especially I am giving you the example of the random sampling, how we are taking the random sampling. So currently enrolled students, I am giving an example, one XYZ college having total 7,500 students. So first year, second year, third year, total first year to final year student, total 1,500 students are there in the college. So in that 50% is mandatory. You can give 100%, 1,500 students detail also, but 50% is compulsory. So in this 50%, the 750 students details means under that 750, we will send the link for 30% students only. That is 225 students. The link will send to the students. This purely computerized process, automatic process. So under that 30%, 10% of total strength of the college means 150 students, the overall percentage will be calculated. For example, 150 students are not able to fit, at least 100 students, whichever is earlier. So 100 students details it will take, and also the overall student satisfaction survey score will generate, means out of 60, how much score. For example, 99 students are given the survey. What happens? The system will give you 0. So hence, at least 100 students it is needed. So kindly motivate the students. Don't influence the students. So influence is different. Motivation is different. So motivation moves the mountain. Like that, if you are if you are motivating the student, students will give the student satisfaction survey transparently. So this is the random sampling. Coming to the next slide. So I will give you the another one hint. You can use the portal. In that portal, how many students are already given the survey? You can daily monitor the progress of the student satisfaction survey. So this is available in your portal, means the college portal. So using that portal, you can check the student satisfaction survey. So coming to the next slide is student satisfaction survey last date. So within 30 days, you have to initiate the survey. Otherwise, the link will be expired. At least 10% of the students is important. And also the overall aggregate of the average score calculated through the system for the student satisfaction survey, it will add to your criteria to score. So total student satisfaction survey will add to your criteria 2. So this is called as student satisfaction survey. So this will simultaneously happen during the DVV process. So immediately after submission of the SSR, the student satisfaction survey will start. So coming to the next important and crunch of the assessment accreditation process is data validation and verification. So now already you know the process of NAAC. From July 2017 onwards, purely computerized process. The 70% of the data will be QNM, that is purely computerized. So you are submitting the documents through the system. So how we are calculating? Only through the documents are submitted from the system will be calculated or not. See, we are empaneled a third-party DVV partners. What is DVV? The third party and verification of the data provided in the SSR. So that is called as DVV partners. So while submitting the SSR, you can observe in the right side. So in the question, in the bottom of the question, we asked what type of documents you have to upload. So based on the document only, you have to give the documents. And also,
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, you are on mute.
sorry, extremely sorry. So using that standard operating procedure, which is uploaded in the NAAC website, you can use the hint for the uploading of the document. What type of the document we have to upload? Especially the third-party DVV partners are well trained from the NAAC. So these are the DVV partners trained from the NAAC. So already we given the standard operating procedure to the DVV partners. So how to verify the documents submitted from the HEA? So coming to the next slide, only the QNM part means the 70% data the DVV partners will verify. Another 30% of the data our peer team visit members will verify on the peer team visit. Only the peer team visit during the data validation and verification process, the DVV partners will verify all the supporting documents. The Excel sheets means the data templates provided in the SSR. For example, any incorrect information or any data mismatch. So SSR one data is there, document showing some other data. So that time, our DVV partner will ask you the clarification. So that is called as verification stage. So this will happen after 15 days of the submission of the SSR. So coming to the next slide, only this query will ask through your portal. We will not ask any other mode. So email communication or hard copy communication, nothing will be there. Only through the portal, you have to answer the questions. Means you have to give the clarification, you have to submit the documents. So on the basis of the clarification, the data will be finalized by the DVV partner. So for example, if you have any discrepancy, automatically your score will be make DVV less. So automatically in the process, the data of the institution is large. So then the random sampling of the document also will ask from the DVV partner. Only based on the standard operating procedure, you have to submit the documents. So for example, in one question, total ICT enabled classrooms in the college. So for example, you are giving the invoice of the LCD. So purchase bills of the system, you are giving a lot of other documents. Our DVV partner will not consider that. So directly, SOP says the geo-tagged photo of the ICT-enabled classroom. So that geo-tagged photo you have to, then only our DVV partner will consider the input of the HA. So hence, you have to follow the standard operating procedure, how to build the documents. So coming to the next slide, especially only one chance of editing the data will be provided to HCI during the clarification process within a stipulated time. You have to give the clarification within 15 days from the data clarification. The chance will be given to HCI. You can change your data or you can change your document based on the clarification asked in the HCI from the DVV side. Only that particular metric you have the chance to change the input. And also there is a very fixed timeline, so don't deviate the timeline. To kindly avoid the total overall procedure time, you have to stick onto the time for the DVV clarification. And also all other steps, the time is very important because the overall assessment accreditation process, it will carry around 4 to 5 months. So if you are making further delay, it will cause us 6 to 8 months of delay for the assessment accreditation process. So coming to the another important thing here, you can observe the screenshot of the portal, how the portals looks for the DVV clarification. So you can observe here, this is the extended profile question. So for example, if the clarification asked from the side the DVV, automatically it will comes like this. So in left side, you can observe 1.1. So this is the 1.1, this is the extended profile. So you can see the input and automatically in the middle side, the findings of the DVV. So provide the brochure of the programs and all. So this clarification will ask you from side the DVV. So the right side, there is an option. One is the response box. Under that response box, you can give your clarification in text, then upload the supporting document. So there is an option in the bottom. There only you can upload the document. So in second one, 1.2. So there is an option for the editing of the number of. So for example, our DVV partner asked to provide the web links of the department documents, academic programs like that. They're asking the clarification. Automatically, second time, there is a chance to edit the number and also clarification, and you can give the documents by uploading the documents. So coming to the next slide. So after giving all the clarifications, you are submitting through the portal only. So then again, our DVV partner will verify your documents in the second time. Only the deviated means clarification asked questions means metrics only. Our DVV partner will again verify whether the college is submitted the documents properly or not. So after that, the final input will be decided. That is in the 4 type. That is called as deviation report. So no answer change, HEA clarification accepted, DVV suggestion recommended, changed after the clarification. So these 4 type may be decided from the DVV partner. I will explain you first one. In the next slide, the first one you can observe here. So this is the extended profile deviation. This is the screenshot of the profile. So you can observe here number of students year-wide during the last 5 years. So you can observe here total 5 years they're asking the data already HEA given, but our DVV partner asking HEA input and uploaded document mismatch. Kindly provide the Excel sheet for supporting year. So automatically HEA is given response, the data is attached along with the supporting document. So again, this metric, our DVV partner will verify whether the input and document is correct or not. So if the HEA is correct, in the beginning data only, no answer change. That is called as no answer change. So the initial number only will be given to HEA. Coming to the next slide. So you can observe here, this is also extended profile question. Here you can observe number of courses offered by the institution across all the programs during the last 5 years. The institution inadvertently they're given the number 2. Our DBV partner suggesting some number like 126. So again HEA clarifying, no, after the document verification, so now we come to the conclusion that is 115. So lastly, the DBV partner again he will verify with the number and what is the document given. So change it after the clarification. The second H input from the institution, so that is 115, so that will be finalized. That is called as HEA clarification accepted. So coming to the next slide. So this is also another type of metric level deviation. So you can observe in the left side, some questions are there, some input already given. Again, DBV partner is asking, the HEA given the clarification, no answer change. So in the second metric, you can observe here, some number is given in the beginning, but after the DBV clarification, some number is arrived. That is called as HEA clarification accepted after the DBV process. Coming to the next slide. So here you can observe, changed after the clarification in the right side. So beginning, HEA given the some data, but after the clarification, the data is decreased by the DBV because of the supporting document. Because this question, number of certificates and diploma programs. The HEA given the 1 day, 2 day, 4 day, 5 day program also in the certificate diploma programs. But according to standard operating procedure, the 30 hours, 30 contact hours programs, we can call it as certificate or diploma program. So it should be a 30 hours. So then automatically DBV arrived one number. So that is called as changed after the clarification. That is the final number is given from the DBV side. So coming to the next slide. So this is also another type of metric level deviation. The HEA given 1 data and 1 input, and the DBV suggesting 1 input. But finally, by the verification of DBV partners, the DBV recommendation will be finalized. Because of the lack of the documents from side the HEA, the DBV will arrive the conclusion and the final input based on the document will be provided. That is called as DBV recommendation recommended. So these are the 4 types of deviation. Coming to the last slide. So this is, you can observe, this is called as deviation report. This generated from the DBV side. So how many metrics are deviated from first value to second value? So that difference, that is called as DBV deviation report. After this DBV deviation report, your final scores for the each metric will be freeze. So then only your pre-qualification will decide. So coming to the next slide, I will explain you the DV, that is pre-qualification process. So before going to pre-qualification process, if any clarification asked from the DBV side, so you have to follow some very important instructions. So some important points I am giving you for the DBV clarification. So you have to give the important details while during the clarification process. For example, your college is in the regional language, affiliation letter, or any other documents. So during the DBV process, you have to give the English translated version in the English translated version and put the seal and signature of the principal. In the letterhead, you have to provide the documents. And also you adhere to the timeline. You have to give the data templates prescribed in the format for all the metrics, Q&A metrics. Only you have the chance for the DBV clarification raised metric only, you have to give the document. Whether it is an extended profile or metric wise, the DBV will ask the clarification. So that question only you have to give the clarification. And also up to 5 MB data, you can upload it in the document. But more than the 5 MB data, you have to upload it in your college website. You have to give the same link in the SSR filling. So no other mode is accepted. For example, Google Drive or any other Microsoft Drive. So our DVV partner will not accept any other mode. Only the documents which is available in the college website, the DVV partner will accept the documents. So all extended profile and other document, you have to provide the data template. If large data, our DVV partner will ask you the random sampling of the document. So coming to the next question, next slide. So you can observe here, this is the screenshot of the standard operating procedure. So this standard operating procedure is available in the website. So based on your HEI type, because recently NAC launched many different manuals for university separate, autonomous college separate, affiliated UG is separate, affiliated PG college is separate, yoga is separate, Ayurveda separate, so medical separate, dental, homeopathy, Unani, like that around 20 plus manuals are available in the portal. So based on that manual, the standard operating procedures are available. So subjected to your college programs, kindly select your manual as well as SOP. So this is a screenshot of the SOP. So you can observe here. So what is the metric says? So what documents are required? So specific instruction to HEI and also what to avoid in the documentation. So the not to include in the SSR, that is also given in the standard operating procedure. So kindly follow. Only success mantra for the assessment accreditation is following of the standard operating procedure. So coming to the next slide. So non-compliance of the DVV. For example, the college is not able to give the clarification within 15 days. What will happen? There is a chance to the institutions in an extreme situations like strike, burn, natural calamity, etc. You can give a request to NAC. The NAC will provide you additional 7 days for the clarification process. So if you're not able to fill the clarification, your DVV will comply. Your DVV will be decided as non-compliance case. So non-compliance case means your first SSR fee and IAQA fee will be forfeited. You have to use the fee freshly again for the assessment accreditation process after a cooling period of 1 year. So then you have to again come for the IAQA after 1 year from the beginning. So because of this, kindly follow the instruction within timeline. You should give the clarifications. Coming to the next slide. So just my request and humble submission is the truth always wins. The truthful representation is very important. Deviation from the SSR can attract penalty in coming future. As of now, in the current situation, there is no penalty. But in the coming future, there is a penalty provision will also be made during the DVV clarification process. So more than penalty, or winning or losing, the trust of the NAC is very important. So hence, kindly follow the instruction and truthful representation is very, very important. Honestly, you give the documentation and input. So after completion of the DVV process, your pre-qualification score will decide from the system. For all the university affiliated colleges, UG, autonomous, it is 25%. It is common for all. Minimum 25% of the score you have to secure from the 70% QNM question. Then only you are eligible for the peer team visit. So if you are not secured the 25% of score, you are not eligible for the assessment accreditation process. You can come for after 6 months of the process. So you should use the again new fee here. Your fee will be forfeited. So hence, after the pre-qualification, the peer team visit will be coming to your college. Next slide. So already explained, this is just a graphical representation. If not qualified, you have to come again from the beginning of IAQ after 6 months. Qualified means peer team. So coming to the another important last presentation, that is logistics and peer team visit management. So peer team visit management is very simple. It is also through the purely on the basis of system selection through the portal. You can observe the logistics and peer team after the pre-qualification process. Coming to the first side of the peer team visit management, next slide. So after the pre-qualification process, you have to pay the second level fee for the assessment accreditation fee. First time already you will pay the first level fee, that is half of the accreditation fee in the beginning of the SSR submission. Then after the pre-qualification process, you have to pay the second level assessment accreditation fee along with the GST. Then previously the college is arranging all the logistic arrangement, hotel, ticket booking and all. But now the NAC is taking care of the all logistic arrangement and the hotel arrangement through the empaneled government formal learning agency. You have to pay the fee, the logistic fee in the portal itself. And you have to give the nearest airport detail and nearest railway station details and the other hotel details, 3 best hotel details which are near to your college. So these are the important details you have to fill and then submit within 15 days after the pre-qualification process. An auto-generated email will send to you registered email ID. Your payment is completed successfully. So then the NAC will take directly all the logistic arrangement, hotel arrangement, TA, DA, honorarium to NAC peer team members, all the things the NAC will take care. After this, the college should not take care anything from your side. The peer team members' details we will not disclose well in advance. Only before 3 days of the peer team visit, all the peer team details will send to the portal of the college, and also our coordinator will communicate you through email before 3 days. So then you can contact the peer team members officially for the itinerary. So what time they are coming to the airport. So local transportation, it is very, very important to arrange from the side the college. The local transportation you can take care. So coming to next slide. So NAC having the large database of experts of senior academicians, senior educational administrators, researchers, especially these all members are already trained from the assessor orientation program, which is already timely we are conducting in the NAC office. These trained assessors will come for the peer team visit. So these peer team members also selected automatically from the system. It is an automated selection based on your programs, based on your state. The system will select to the peer team members. Coming to the next slide, the peer team visit management. So it is 2 days for the college. Peer team visit is only 2 days for the college. The 3 members team may be set. So especially the chairman category is vice chancellor category, member coordinator may be professor of the university, and member principal or professor of the university. So these 3 members will come. Sometimes one observer may also send to the side the NAC, or NAC coordinator may also come for the peer team visit. So during the peer team visit, the 50% of the department has to visit. So this 50%, the 25% may be chosen from the institution side, or 25% our peer team can also choose the 25% of the detail. So after this peer team, so 3 days before we will communicate the detail, local transport you have to arrange from your side, from side the college, from airport to hotel, hotel to your college. Means the pickup and drop you have to take care, and also lunch should be arranged in the peer team visit during the college. And also remuneration and all other parts, the NAC will take in. So need not to pay anything from the college. So after the peer team visit, the peer team members will submit the peer team scores and the peer team reports from the portal itself in the college only. So hence kindly provide the internet, laptop or any stationary arrangement, printer, etc. from the college side to the peer team members. So peer team members online, they will submit the details in the last of the peer team visit, means after the completion of the peer team visit. So coming to the next slide, assessment outcome. See, after the completion of the peer team visit, the QNM score, it is 70% submitted during the SSR. Means that is after the DVB clarification, the freezed QNM part, that is 70% plus QLM, that is peer team score. Then student satisfaction survey score. So these three will give you the final result, that is called as assessment outcome. So coming to the next slide, in the assessment outcome, what are all the things we are giving or providing from the NAC side to college? One is peer team report, only peer team report based on the QLM, that is qualitative metrics. We are giving you the peer team report, especially criteria wise. Total 7 criteria are there. Criteria wise, we are providing the details, means peer team report to the college. The second part consists of the statistical analysis of the quantitative. Only the QNM questions will be given the statistical survey. And another thing is institutional grade sheet. So soft copy also we will provide. After 1 month, we will send you the hard copy of the grade sheet also to the institution. So one very important thing here, it is mandatory to display in the college website the peer team score and report and grade. Also, NAC will also host it in its own website, NAC website. So coming to the peer team report. So the peer team report consists of part 1 and part 2. Especially in the part 1, there are divided into 4 subsections. The first subsection, so the general information about the institution will be there. Its name, details, institution, and geographical area. So how much square feet. So these are the general information will be in the first section. In the second section, it gives criteria-wise analysis based on the peer team evaluation. So first criteria, second criteria, third criteria, fourth, like that, all the 7 criteria, only the qualitative, the descriptive assessment of the report will be given around 300 to 500 words per criteria. So third one is the overall analysis of the institution, means strength, weakness, opportunities and challenges. That is SWOT analysis of the institution. And the last section is the recommendation from the peer team. So it is in the 10 bullet points. So what the recommendation peer team wants to give to college for the improvement in the coming future for the second and subsequent cycle. So our peer team will suggest you 10 major points for the recommendation. So coming to the second part in the next slide. So this contains the system generated quality profile of the institution. So quality profile means based on the statistical analysis. So every key indicators means quantitative key indicator framework. So that key indicators format will be in the graphical representation. Each key indicator wise, the graphical representation will give you to college. So that will reflect the synthesis of the quantifiable indicator. So in the third part, the institutional grade sheet, soft copy means the overall CGPA calculated through the 1000 scores. So that the CGPA final score will be given to college. So through soft copy also, the hard copy also will be given to college. So coming to the next slides, I will give you some of the screenshot and the details how the qualitative and quantitative analysis will be provided. So you can observe here, this is section 2. these qualitative indicators. So here the peer team will give you the details, means especially the peer team report with respect to qualitative analysis criteria wise 300 to 500 words they will provide. So this is one of the screenshot for the QLM. So coming to the next screenshot, so here you can observe this is QNM. This is called as scattered chart. You can observe here each QAF, quantitative indicator framework. So each indicator, so how much the score is secured from the college. So it will be given in the scattered chart. How much indicators are average performance and how much key indicators are average, high performance and low performance. So you can observe and you can analyze from yourself. So which are the key indicators you are performing low and which are the key indicators you are performing high. So this thing you can observe in the scattered chart. So coming to the other type of chart, next slide. So this is called as radar chart. So this radar chart will be provided to institution criteria wise, means only QNM part. So criteria 1, 2, 3 we are providing. So 4, 5, 6, 7 like that we are providing the radar chart. You can observe here. So what is the weakness of the college? In which metrics, especially in which key indicators or which criteria? So you can observe your strength here and also weakness. So here you can observe the mouth is open. So lesser the mouth opening, the college having a very good performance. If more the opening of the mouth, you have to improve yourself more during the next another 5 years for the improvement of the college with respect to quality assessment or quality assurance. So you can observe here. So coming to the next slide, this is also another one type of same radar chart, criteria 4, 5, 6 and 7. Here also you can observe your strength and weakness based on your key indicator framework. So key indicators, so weaknesses and strength. So more the opening of the mouth, more to be need the improvement. Lesser the opening of the mouth, the less improvement is needed. It means already you are improved a lot. So coming to the next slide. So you can observe here in the next slide, this is also one of the graph distribution of low performance key indicator. So how many key indicators which are performing low? So that is also given in the pie chart. You can observe in green, blue in the color shades. So you can observe the performance of the key indicators in low level, means low performance key indicators, the distribution. So coming to the next slide, you can observe here the average performance of the key indicator, the distribution. It is also in the color code. So you can observe. So for example, in the faculty empowerment strategy, how much averagely you are performing this, what is the score, what percentage it is there. So these things we can give it from the statistic analysis. These are all purely system generated QNMs. So next one. So you can observe here, this is a high performance key indicator, means so the system will give you scores 0 to 4 in each metric. For example, one metric contains the 10 mark. The system will give you 0 to 4 based on the performance, based on the benchmark value. For example, 0 to 4, for example, you scored 3 to 4. So that is called as high performance key indicator. Automatically, that 10 value will be multiplied with the 3 score or 4 score given from the this one. It will multiply to 30 or 40 like this. The total 1000 marks will be converted to 4000. Then final your CGPA will be calculated into, that is 4 scale. So more than 3.01 if your score, that is called as A grade. Like that the CGPA will be calculated based on the system calculation. So coming to the next slides. So this is the comparison of the QNM and QLM key indicators. So what is the comparison of based on the performance? So QNM or QLM. So where your high score you are already taken during the peer team visit or in the during the QNM submission. So this comparison also you can analyze from your side. So another slide. So next slide also showing the comparison of the key indicators in high performance and low performance. So which key indicators are high, which key indicators are low. So this comparison slide means comparison data also given from the NAAC side. So next slide. So this is very important for the institution. This is the grading pattern. So you can observe here, this is the overall grading pattern of the NAAC. It is adopted in the revised accreditation framework, especially after July 2017. If the institution is scored more than 3.51 weightage to 4, so that is called as A double plus grade. So 3.26 to 3.50, that is A plus. 3.01 to 3.25, that is A grade. 2.76 to 3, B double plus. 2.51 to 2.75, B plus. 2.01 to 2.50, that is B grade. 1.51 to 2.0, C grade. So below the 1.50, that is D, nothing but not accredited. The institution has to come for the assessment accreditation again after the improvement. Means at least you can wait for another 1 year. You can improve the all metrics, so you can improve the quality of the institution. So then you can come for the assessment accreditation from the beginning of the IAQA. Coming to the next slide. So last slide, I am just giving you the overview after the accreditation process. So after the accreditation, what you have to do? So this is the flow chart. See, first combining of the qualitative metric, quantitative metric and AAA score, the final CGPA will be calculated, and that is will be mapped to 7-point grade. So then we will register to 4 and then we will give you the result to the institution. So if you are not accredited, you have to repeat the A&A process from the beginning of the IAQA after minimum of 1 year. So for example, you are accredited, but you are not satisfied with the result of the NAAC. So there is an option to the college, nothing but a revaluation. You can apply as a appeal. You can apply for the appeal. The purely that appeal mechanism is entirely different. So again, same procedure for the verification of your appealed questions or metric, whichever the metric you want to appeal. So you can read the guidelines and the procedures given in the website for all the appealed details. So you should appeal within 1 month of the declaration of the result. So reassessment. So you want to improve your score. There is a chance you can come for the assessment accreditation. Again, that is called a reassessment. But in one cycle, you should come only one time chance. After 1 year, before 3 years, you can come again for the assessment accreditation process. That is called as reassessment. And after the post accreditation process, if you are agreed with the NAAC result, so you are satisfied, so then regularly you have to submit mandatorily the AQR report, annual quality assurance report. So this is also purely through the portal. Someday you have to submit every year one AQR from the institution you have to submit, because this is a mandatory requirement for the second cycle. You have to come second and third, fourth cycle subsequently means previously you should submit the AQR through your portal. So that AQR you submit to the portal and also you upload in your website regularly. The result after you will get the hard copy of the grade within 1 month of the declaration of the result. So this will be valid for the 5 years. 5 years validity will be there. Only some in other cases. So every year A to A plus you are taking in a consecutive 3 years. So that time in the fourth cycle we will give you 7 years of accreditation to the institution. 7-year validity period. So hence this is the overall grading and accreditation pattern of the NAAC. So morning I wasted 15 minutes of time of all the participants because of the technical problem. So within the timeline, what the provided from the organizers, within the timeline, I completed my presentation. So now the session is open. So session is yours. You can ask the questions. So one thing I want to say last, quality is not an investment. Quality is not an expense. It is an investment. So together we invest on the quality of the higher education. So this is my last quote. Namaskar to all. So thanks for listening the assessment accreditation process. I congratulate wholeheartedly to all the organizers of MS Ramaiah Institute, because in this lockdown situation, so the classes are not happening. Online classes are happening. So same way, online awareness programs are organized. So this is the right time to go for the assessment accreditation of MBA, NAC, etc. So you can ask questions. The session is open. So thank you very much, sir. Dr. Madhu, sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. It was very informative and wonderful. Sir, we have few questions from the participants. Vasanti ma'am, she has asked that their college has gone for accreditation in June 2017. Can we apply for the improvement of grade? And due to the COVID, can they resubmit the SSR?
Madam, reassessment is possible after 1 year, before 3 years. So in this COVID-19 situation, the NAC is providing some extension for the institution, but kindly submit one email query to nachelpdesk@gmail.com or raise the issue in your portal. Definitely we will help you. So that extension will be provided. You can come for reassessment, madam. Thank you. Next question, madam.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Nasiruddin sir has asked that as NAC is asking 5 years data and DVV started in 2017 onwards. Still NAC requires your tagged photos for the previous year events. Sir, please clarify in this how to do.
Madam, the new revised accreditation process is started in July 2017. I accept. But college is started more than 5 years back now. So the college having the documents. So you have to provide the 5-year documents, especially in some of the metric, the geo-tagged photos and all other questions are there only with respect to the current year data. Means last completed year data only we are asking. So if you're still facing trouble while uploading the document, need not to worry. You can specify the details and you can give the details when the program completed, brochure, photographs, any other related document supporting to the metric, you can upload it during the SSR verification. Our DVV partner will definitely consider if it is a benign document. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question is there. Somebody has asked that does NAC conduct staff admins and student interview during the visit, and such as visiting classrooms, calling staff, and checking for the validation?
Madam, definitely, madam. Our peer team members will visit full college facilities, including canteen, hostels, all the labs, all the departments. Max to max, the peer team visit will happen 2 days from beginning morning to evening 6 o'clock. Meticulously, they will visit all the departments. So kindly be ready with all the departments and also all the facilities, support facilities of the college. That is compulsory.
Yeah, thank you, sir. One more question is there, sir. Somebody has asked that what is the role of IQAC in the formation, role, and responsibility in getting the NAC for the institution?
Madam, especially with respect to the college, administration means the principal and the principal room. But for the qualitative improvement, means quality improvement, the institutional quality assurance cell plays a very important. So the quality assurance cell and the coordinator can meet regularly, means the regular meeting should conduct. So what are all the difficulties
PT.
and what are all the advantages of NAC? So what is the improvement we have to do? So regularly you have to conduct a meeting. So you have to do the minutes of meeting and you have to note down what improvement you have to do. So short-term goals, long-term goals, we have to decide. So what should be given the first preference? So what is long-term preference? So these things are, you have to work out in the college IQSC cell, and then working on the goals, you will definitely achieve the quality in the another 1 or 2 years. So because of the IQSC only, nowadays, the lot of colleges are performing very good because of the IQSC. Because IQSC plays a very important role for the quality culture and quality initiative and quality establishment of the institution. IQSC is very important. So you can go to our NAC website. So there is a separate sessions we are organizing in the NAC. So AQR and IQSC. So kindly go to the NAC website and you can go to the timings and dates. You can attend the sessions. So you will get more knowledge about the role and responsibilities of the IQSC. So thank you, madam. Next question.
Thank you, sir. One more question, sir. In this situation of the COVID and this PE team visit is postponed for the college. So how it will be taken care, sir?
Did not worry, madam. So after August only, we are planning for the PL team visit. After settling down of the current COVID-19 situation only, we will continue the peer team visit. So peer team visit also, we will planning such a way that social distancing and also all the health measures we will take from the NAC side and the peer team visit will be complete. No need to worry. So the NAC responsibility to complete the peer team visit, only be ready with the peer team visit. So same way, so previously how you are conducting the peer team visit, so that way only you are be ready. So after August, we will see the situation. So if the situation is settled, we will start the peer team. Thank you, madam. Next question.
Hello. Yeah, thank you, sir. One more last question it is, sir.
Please,
Sir,
ma'am, please.
somebody has asked that how to consider the year while consolidating the data. That is it current calendar-wise year or academic year?
Madam, several metrics asking the different data. For example, the metrics which are asking about the financial, so you have to follow April 1st to 31st calendar year. That is for the financial year, April 1st to 31st. For example, some metrics asking the year-wise data. For example, in the journals, publications, books published. So January 1st to the December 31st. That is calendar year. Some question asking about the academic year. So June 1st to July 31st, the college has to follow. Some questions are asking about the data of the last completed year. That is current year data, preceding year. So that year data you have to. So based on the metric, the different data we are asking. So kindly read the manual, standard operating procedure, and also especially the glossary part, which is in the last pages of the manual. So for the details about the documents required, year-wise, calendar-wise, financial year-wise, current academic year, last 5 year, block year. So these are the details will be available in the manual. Thank you very much, madam. Next question, madam, please.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. I think we have come to an end. I think majority of the questions people have asked.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can take 1 or 2 oral question also, sir, if time is there.
No. There is some questions are there.
Okay, sir.
Sir, due to COVID, people those who submitted SSR.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Whether the process is going on or whether when they will get the result.
Sir, the process is going on, but in a slow mode.
Okay.
So especially the institutions are facing challenges to submit the document because of the lockdown. The colleges are not functioning. The faculties are not coming. The colleges only asking the extension. Okay. Already we are notified in the NAC website. We are ready to give time limit to the college. So after settling down of the current situation, we will give you the time. Kindly upload your document. So during that time. So need not to worry, sir. NAC is fully ready to support the institution. So COVID-19 situation is not only for an individual. The problem is for whole country. So we will all fight together. We will work together, sir. NAC is ready to help in this regard, sir. Need not to worry, sir.
And one more question, sir. So some institutes actually visit is already fixed in the month of August.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Suppose if the student didn't turn up to that time, by chance, if they don't turn up that time.
Correct, sir. Correct.
How that NAC you are going to take the feedback?
Sir, as of now, our assumption is during the August month, probably the current situation will be settled down. So because of that only, the peer team visit already scheduled in the August. But no air ticketing, no hotel accommodation details are booked. Only tentatively the date is blocked. But if it is not settled in the month of August, we will consent the college. If college is ready only, if that area is green zone, there is no problem, then only the peer team visit will complete. Otherwise, if college is ready for the postpone, NAC is also ready for the postpone, we will definitely postpone. Need not to worry, sir. Tentatively, we planned in the month of August because the computer process, it needs date. We can anonymously, we cannot extend the date. So tentatively, we given in the August. If situation is not settled down, we will go to September, October, or subsequent month. No need to worry, sir.
So one more question is there. I think
please.
Very tricky question. I think answer. Uploading a teaching video in the YouTube or some other digital platform, whether it is going to affect the NAC accreditation process of the college?
No, sir, not an issue, sir. Because no, e-content development is very important. In one of the metric, we are also asking the e-content development. So in that e-content development, you can vote only for the autonomous and universities. So you can develop your e-content and you can upload it in the YouTube or any other media, not an issue, sir, for autonomous and university. But affiliated PG and UG, there is no required, and we are not asking such questions in the manual.
Okay, sir. So I think we are coming to the end of the session. Sir, thank you very much for a very wonderful session.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
But I am extremely apologize because of the technical problem caused in the morning. I don't know what happened. 2 laptops I tried, but it is not worked out. So anyway, in the mobile only I finished the session.
No problem, sir. Thank you.
Nothing.
So
thank you all the participants. Thank you very much.
No, it's extremely.
So kindly log into our website. All the details pertaining to assessment accreditation, it is available in the NAC website. All the video tutorials from beginning of the IAQA to peer team visit, already we uploaded in the NAC website. You can go to website anytime. The videos are available, video tutorials. You can learn in Hindi also, in English also. And also NAC is conducting various webinars. Through daily, we are conducting minimum 3 webinars in the COVID situation time. So kindly log into website. All the timetables are available. Kindly go to the webinars for the more details for the assessment accreditation. University separate, autonomous, affiliated, UG, PG, and also IKSC details. So all the webinars we are conducting in the shortly. Please, sir. So thank you very much, all the participants once again. Namaste. Yes, namaste to all.
Sir, we want to thank Dr. S.C. Sharma, sir, the director of NAC, for deputing the people from NAC, sir.
Thank you very much. Sir, also conveyed his best wishes to all the participants and organizers also, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We will end the session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Namaste.
A small announcement to all the participants. The afternoon session, at the end of afternoon session, we are sharing feedback form. You please submit the feedback form. After the feedback form, your certificates will be sent to you. So we'll start afternoon session at 2 p.m. Please join for afternoon session at 2 p.m. Thank you all.